What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So we're going to start today's video off with us dropping our car off at a mechanical workshop near us. They're going to be making us a alloy or stainless intake pipe for the turbo. Ollie's been going on and on about the sound of everyone else's car, how it's got that really cool dose sound, and ours is more of a and he wants more of a choo. We found a really good mechanical workshop that appears to be really good. The guys seem really nice. Yeah, it's not far from us as well, and they do a lot of fabricating and that sort of thing. We've seen a lot of other JDM cars in there, so hopefully that's a good sort of idea of their knowledge on these sort of cars and what they can do. They're going to have the car for about 2 days, which sucks because I'd love to keep doing stuff on the car. There's still a big list of things what you want to do, but it's all good because it's about 40 degrees here at the moment the last couple of days, so it's probably not that good a temperature to be working on the car in the garage anyway. So I'm going to do a quick comparison. So we'll film a quick little pull and the dose at the moment on the car with the standard intake pipe, and then we'll cut straight to the new dose. Hopefully it's absolutely epic and sounds really good. I can't wait to see Ollie's face once he hears it as well. Alright guys, we have the car back and the intake pipe is all made up and it looks really nice. Was it worth the money? It's debatable. It was pretty expensive for what it is. What is it, like a 30 centimeter bit of pipe? But in saying that, they have done a good job of what they've made. So it's made a little bit of a difference to the noise, not a huge difference. It's got a little bit more of a high-pitched flutter to it now. The thing needs some boost. So we are about to head out the other side of town. We're going to head out to Sleeker Spares. They are pretty much the only people that I could find with a bleeder valve and a boost gauge in stock that was half decent and not just some Chinese crap. So we've got some Turbosmart ones out there waiting for us. We're going to head out there now and pick it up. Hopefully this afternoon we'll be able to truck some boost and a boost gauge into the car, and we're going to wind up the boost to about 10 PSI, which should be pretty safe. And then we should start hearing some noticeable difference to that tone of the flutter, which should be pretty good. And we're going to get a good difference for the power as well. In the meantime, it's Friday afternoon and we've got a little bit of a side project. We've got some rear pads and discs for the Mrs. car, for the Mercedes. We're going to chuck them on. It should be pretty easy and simple to put on. I think they're a little bit fiddly. We've got to like electronically wind out the pistons on the rear calipers and then fit those brake pads and the new discs in. We're going to get that done. I won't bore you too much with that one, but I have a couple little shots of us changing that over and we can get stuck into that 34 sooner than later.
One eternity later.
Give me a Nissan any day, man. Mercedes suck. Ready to put that on. We'll give that a good clean. Give it a good wipe down. Then we'll chuck the new pads. How's this? So, looks like the pad delaminated on the inside and a bit of metal started scraping it, and then the pad dislodged and started digging into the disc. But we've got our fresh pads, we've got our fresh disc. We're just going to piece it all back together. We're pretty much all done. We're just going to get this side back together. We can piece it all back together and make sure it's all safe and torqued up, and then we can get back onto that Nissan. We've made it out to Sleeker Spares. Hopefully they've got the stuff in stock that they said on their website. I don't think there's any other place in Adelaide that I could find that isn't in some random place. I think Autobahn had a bleeder valve, one color, the blue one, which I didn't want. I want to try and go black. And they had the old model as well. No one had the boost gauge in stock. We've scrolled Marketplace and I think this is going to be our best option. It's going to be about 160 bucks. We've got a bleeder valve, the new Turbosmart bleeder valve, and we're going to have the Turbosmart boost gauge as well, which is probably going to be a lot more accurate than some of those other like SAS or random cheaper brands, which I saw a lot of people complaining about the accuracy. All right, let's head in there and see if they've got the stuff we need. Alright guys, it is time to install some boost gauge and some boost. We've got our Turbosmart boost gauge here and our boost controller. Do you want to open that one up, Mr. Ollie? And it's good. Pretty generic, sort of basic Turbosmart boost gauge. Wasn't very expensive, it was like 60 bucks or something like that, which is pretty much the same price they are everywhere. And then we've got our little bleeder valve. So this is the brand new updated looking Turbosmart bleeder valve. It's pretty bloody small, like you can see in my hand it's pretty small. The other one was a little bit taller, the old one, and this one's got a nice big adjustment knob on it, and pretty self-explanatory. More boost, less boost. I've wound that all the way down at the moment. We're going to install the boost gauge first. Oh, you've got a little bracket for it as well. And I think the instructions, you have to go on their website to have a look, but I think they're pretty self-explanatory. Let's move these across, move that there, leave that there. So this is a mechanical boost gauge. We're just going to install this temporarily for now so that I can monitor the boost. We're going to put the boost gauge in here at home, and then we're going to go for a drive down to the closest industrial area, which is like 5 minutes, 10 minutes down the road. And we're going to basically, on the way to the industrial area, I don't want to rip around the roads here while we're setting up the boost, so it's probably a better idea and a bit safer to go to the industrial area where there's not as much traffic and people and houses and everything. But we're going to install the boost gauge here. We're going to temporarily put it in the car, go for a drive to the industrial area, monitor what the boost does with an actual boost gauge between here and there. And then once we get there, we'll swap over to the bleeder valve, and then we'll rip up and down one of the quiet roads in the industrial area and set up the boost together with Ollie and try and film it all. Hopefully we don't run out of battery on the way. But all right, let's get started. All right, so we got tons of this silicone hose. I think this stuff is a little bit thick. Yeah, it's like a loose on there, so we're going to go the thinner stuff for the bleeder valve and for the boost gauge as well, because they're both the same size hoses. Let's work out where we're going to get our feed from. Engine bay wise, once we get to the boost controller, that's obviously going to get put in over here where the standard solenoid is. But for the boost gauge, we've got a couple of different options. We've got our fuel pressure regulators here. They are a pretty bloody good place to tee into, because that's going to be your absolute definite boost pressure. The only thing is our gauge inside the car is a little bit dicky, so it doesn't work all the time. And this is a little solenoid for it, and it gets its feed from here. I'm thinking I might just leave this unplugged, the standard boost gauge, and we might try and get our feed from this one here, because it is right at the back and easy to get into the car. And I mean, the standard gauge isn't much use if it's not working anyway, so we might go with that for now, and I can plug that back on later. And we haven't done anything permanent. We'll probably reinstall that once we have finished our testing for today. The only other thing is where we're going to go in the firewall. So I believe there is a way in the firewall back down here. Can't see anywhere else that we can go in there, so it's going to have to go down in this little gap and then through there and out the dash. I'll get Ollie to help me pull that through. Bugger. Got some emergency repairs that I've just found while trying to work out a way through the firewall for that hosing. But you can see here, low life. It's not even low. It's grabbed the tires, grabbed the guard there.
Yeah, I can see it kind of bulges out.
And it bulges out too, which is not ideal. So I'm going to have to try and fix that as best as I can. I'm going to get Ollie to take the wheel off. I'll quickly jack the car up. At least we'll be able to get to that inner guard, which is where we'll be able to feed the hosing into the cabin as well. So with the wheel off, we can see a couple problem areas. This is something that I've been meaning to address for ages. I was going to get the heat gun and try and push that in a little bit, so I might do that now. But two things, I don't know if you can see on camera, we're rubbing through here, we're rubbing through the wiring, and then we've also caught this guard. I think that's just something that comes with having big offset wheels, and I mean, it's not really that low, but they are big offset wheels and it is lower than factory. So I'm going to pull the guard liner off and have a closer look at that while we're here. Start installing something and then get sidetracked to fix something else. So we'll get stuck on this, make sure we fix this up a little bit so we can go for a cruise tonight. There is a cruise meet on tonight we're trying to make it to. And once we've got the guard liner off, I'll see if I can just temporarily fix that wiring and move it up out the way. try and fix that guard a little bit, then we can continue on running that boost line down into the cabin. Okay, while Ollie is doing that, I've got some convolute. You can see that. Should be able to sit the boost line inside that convolute where it goes through the firewall so we can avoid it getting damaged. I've got some thicker stuff as well that I had in four-wheel drive, just as spares for when we go away. The wiring that's up in the guard, I might try and see if I can cover that with some of this thicker convolute just to protect it and try and move it up out the way a little bit as well. Might go plug that heat gun in. Have we still got that heat gun? Yeah. We'll get the heat gun plugged in as well and see if we can mold that plastic out the way. This should move out the way. It's probably one more down the bottom. We'll just leave that tucked in like this for now. Okay, the wiring is not overly pretty up here, which I was expecting. It looks like just indicator wiring that it's rubbed through there, which isn't the worst in the world, but it's not ideal. Could be worse. All right, here's where we're going to go through with the boost. I'm going to poke a little hole through here. Looks pretty mint. All right, let's cover that other boost hose in convolute and we'll go from there. All right, let's lay some boost hose. We've got the thin little boost hose here. We're going to come over here, Mr. Ollie. We're going to feed this onto this little boost outlet here. Push it on as far as we can. We'll try and route this so that it's out of the way. We might even follow this hose across, I reckon. It's probably going to be the best thing to do. And then we're going to go inside the guard. Is that coming through?
Yep.
And what I'll do, just to keep it safe, is this convolute. I'm going to feed that in on just anywhere it passes past like sharp metal. Oh. It's good to sit this over it once I can get it on first go. Cool, so there you can see just where it's rubbing past the metal.
Yep.
It's got protection there. We don't need too much more than that. Poke a hole through this rubber grommet, feed the hose through there, and then we should be inside the cabin and ready to hook up the boost gauge. Inside the car, we got to find that grommet, which is, oh yeah, right back behind here. So hopefully that rubber hose has come through. See if we can grab it. We've got Ollie on the other side just feeding it through with me as well. Let me know when we get to the plastic. Right, the plastic. Yep, that's through, yeah. And how much room we got in there? It's looking pretty good. I reckon that's pretty neat and out of the way. Not going to get caught up on anything, and it just pokes in there. So now we want to just feed that up through the dash and wherever we're going to sit the boost gauge. Where else can we go? We could probably go just here for now until we get a gauge holder and we'll sort something out. I've seen gauge holders for the ashtrays that seem to work pretty well. Just got a cable tie holding it in there. Pretty ghetto, but it's only temporary. Probably coming off tomorrow once we get all the boost set up, because this thing is absolutely trash. We need to figure out why that's not working properly. Plus it's pretty known that that's not very accurate, whereas this is a proper Turbosmart vacuum and boost gauge. Let's chuck that guard liner back on, get the wheel back on. We've got the guard just fixed up for now. It's done a bit of damage, which sucks, but it is what it is. We should have rolled the guards ages ago, but we didn't. The other thing is that we fixed the wiring. I've got convolute on it. I've got it tucked up out the way, so that shouldn't get damaged anymore. Until we get this air suspension on, it should be a bit stiffer and not rub. Guard liner is all back together. I'm just gonna heat this up and push it in a little bit, but all the clips are back in. Pretty devastated about the guard damage, but keep telling myself it's gonna be painted and fixed soon. Just need to blow some cold air on it now. That's folded in a little bit, should make a little bit of difference, not as much as I was hoping, but it should be good. All right, Mr. Ollie, we've got some tire damage, don't we, from that guard? That sucks, man. That's really, really sucks. All right.
I mean, we're gonna get new wheels anyways.
Yeah, we're gonna change these to 19s anyway, but I'd prefer if they weren't damaged. Yeah. Sucks. Oh well. Things happen. All right, let's chuck these wheels back on. Let's go set some boost up. All right, Ollie's getting that wheel ready, so I'm going to grab everything we need for our little trip. We've got our boost tee. I'll bring some convolute just in case. Bring a T-piece just in case. I don't think we need that, but we should be more prepared than we need to be. We've got some boost line in the car. Probably bring some pliers, and that's about it, I reckon. Everything else is pretty simple. We're literally... Oh, that's what I need. We need to blank this off. So all these hoses, one goes to the wastegate, one comes from the boost source here. I'm going to pull all these hoses off and leave them as they are so we can put them back if we ever need to. And the boost tee just goes pretty much in between those two, the wastegate and the boost sense. And it's good to go. We're going to try and hide it up in here. I do need a little bolts just to blank the other one off, and then we're pretty much good to go. I think we got everything we need, so we'll just help Ollie tighten that wheel up. A bit nervous and excited at the same time, so there's every real possibility that it's a 1998, 99 car. It's been around for a few years. Turbo is definitely not new, so there is every chance that we could blow the turbo, but I'm going to do everything I can to be nice and safe. We're only going to get up to 10 psi. If it spikes and comes back down on the boost gauge, I'm going to spike it to 10 psi so it comes down to a safe level. I don't want to spike it any more than 10 psi. And obviously we need to make sure we're having a good listen and making sure the engine's not running too lean and detonating or anything like that, or hesitating. The other thing is, I don't know how the Autotrans is going to go. The Autotrans, when I hold it flat, it loves it, but it slips a lot at normal driving. So I think just trying to make it comfortable, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to get Ollie to do his first torque of the wheel nuts. You want to hear it click? No? Yeah, I'll try. I just want to make sure it's working. Yeah. So you're putting your weight not on the middle bit, you're putting your weight on the end.
Yeah.
The middle bit is just supporting it. Come on, mate. There you go. Yep. So once it clicks, you can let go. So go on the opposite wheel nut. Good. Yep. Nice. And lean on it. Go. No. Yep. You're close. Yeah. There you go. You got it. Nice one. Torqued up, ready to go. Ollie's driving today. Soon. I know that'll happen sooner than I can imagine. Nice. That boost gauge working? We're in vacuum.
So, yeah.
Nice. Alright, we'll let that warm up for a bit. I'm going to move it forward out the driveway because there was so much dirt and crap under the car. I'm going to move it forward, lock up the house, and we'll go for a drive, put some boost in this thing, hey? So let's quickly see on the way to fit the bleeder valve exactly what the factory boost is doing, because I have a feeling it does pretty random stuff. So let's check it out. Boost is sitting on 5 psi no matter what I do, which is definitely not what the original gauge was saying. So that's a good starting point. We're going to go up to 10. We'll get where we're going and get that bleeder valve on. So on the drive, we've learned definitely that it's just holding 5 psi no matter what we do. So that's a really good start. It wasn't even stepping up. It wasn't doing the dual solenoid thing that it was meant to be doing. We've found a nice quiet area in the vineyards. Nice long straight roads, no houses, no cars, real quiet out here. So we're going to jump out. It's a little bit windy out there, but we're going to jump out, put that boost solenoid on and start doing some testing. So I've got it wound all the way down. We're going to disconnect the solenoid to start with, put the new boost controller on with it clicked all the way down, minimum boost, which should be 5 psi, and then we can start going maybe 2 clicks at a time upwards and seeing how much difference that makes. Pull over, readjust, go for a fang, pull over, readjust till we reach that 10 psi. All right, let's do it. So, standard solenoid, standard boost, standard hoses. We'll put them in the car. Next, we want to see if we can thread these on.
A few moments later.
Arrow goes to the wastegate. I reckon I'm going to sit this just down here once we're all done. Sit that nice and neatly behind there. Alright, so for now, that looks really neat and tidy. It's going to hide under there, you won't even be able to see it. But for the meantime, try and sit that with a cable tie just here so we can make some adjustments, and then we'll set it out the way once we get home. All right, test one. We've got the solenoid set up. I've come 2 clicks off absolute bottom, and we're going to see what that does to the boost, and then we'll be able to go for a bit of a fang up this quiet road.
Surely we'll at least get up to like 7 psi.
It should be, yeah, but it might be a couple of clicks before it makes any difference, and then it will find its bit. All right, we'll get into second. How different does that dose sound, man? That was 7 psi. So
you could hear the turbo.
It was like, definitely, yeah, that I was a bit hesitant. I didn't want to hold it flat in case it spiked up to like 15 and we blow the turbo. All right, so I'm going to chuck another 2 clicks in it. So you want to wait here? We'll do 2 clicks and then we'll go again and we'll see. I'm not holding it flat for a long time, so I want to make sure that we're not going above 10 psi. All right, 2 more clicks. Test number 2, 2.5, 3. Let's do it. The dose sounds completely different already. All right, 2 more clicks, 2 more clicks. Carefully off road here. Testing and tuning, testing and tuning.
It's crazy how this little small thing can change the
car so much. It's nuts, isn't it? It's cool. Two more clicks. Hopefully that's the sweet spot. Let's do this. Test number 3.
Let's go.
Get out of this area. Make sure we're not around anyone. We'll go second. Seemed to be the good gear. Mosquito. Yeah. What do you reckon, man?
I reckon road like
straight
looks very bumpy, but
yeah, good point. All right, very right. Right, so we're second. Got a bit of brake and load it up. Oh, is that in the car though? It's still not going up much. We need a little bit more. Test number 4. How many clicks is that? 2 at the start. 4, 6, we're like 8 clicks up. So yeah, it might be like, because it's such a low 5 psi wastegate, it might take a couple of clicks to actually start tricking the air. I'm gonna go third. I reckon that's still doing it. I'm gonna go up 3 clicks next. All right, test 5. 5, yeah, I think. Losing track. Let's do it. So normally you can do this on a dyno where you can put the car under full load, hold it flat, get to the maximum boost, and then someone under there can just go click, click, click until you reach your boost that you need, but we can't do that. Strapping Ollie under the bonnet while we're doing 80 k's an hour is probably not the safest thing. Yeah. All right, off-road again, second. Go third. Let's bring the boost up with a bit of brake. Interesting.
Still 7.
I'm going to go 3 clicks again. Yeah, I've lost count of the number of clicks. 2, 3. All right. So that's 7, I think. Got a giveaway sign up here.
That was really high pitch.
Yeah, the dose was different. My gauge is still reading 7.
Maybe that one's broken as well.
Imagine 2 broken gauges. All right, I'm not going to bore you guys with how many clicks we're doing. We're going to get it all set up and we'll check back once we got it at 10 psi. I reckon we're getting pretty close. Let's load it up in second. The dose sounds completely different and that gauge definitely. We're definitely hitting higher boosts now. All right, I reckon we're 2 clicks away from being exactly where we want to be. So 3rd gear pull. We're on 8 psi. 8, right on 8. Just touches 9. So 2 more clicks, and I reckon we're done. Famous last words, like 500 clicks later. I think it's because this wastegate starts at 5 psi, so the spring is really soft on that R34 Neo wastegate. So we're starting with such a low boost that it takes a lot to manipulate it and change it upwards. All right, let's do this. All right, adjustment 295, 6,230 clicks later. We're gonna go 2nd gear. I reckon we're on it. I reckon we're gonna be right on 10 psi. Gonna do it where there's not any people or cars. We'll go 3rd, we'll load up 3rd. The dose, that's so good. Oh, we're back here. All right, we can turn down this road. We don't want to hang around here too long. I don't want to piss people off or do anything wrong, so choose some different roads. Just touching 9 psi. Pretty bloody good. Just gonna do a 2nd gear pull. What do you reckon? Do we do one more? One more. It's still sitting on 8 or 9. It steps up to 9. It's not spiking crazy, so there's no danger in that. I reckon we'll go, yeah, 2 more clicks. I reckon all this hard work tuning the boost, we're going to head into McLaren Vale, which is a really nice like wine region not too far from us, and we're going to get some lunch. You ready, ma'am?
Yes.
Damn. The auto is really like slipping a fair bit. Hey, I think it's having a little bit of trouble. Let's go 3rd gear. That dose is so different. So a good test. So it's definitely just tapping 10 psi.
Yeah.
So it goes up to 10 and then drops back down to 8.5, 9 psi, which I'm perfectly happy with. I'm happy not pushing it. The main thing we sort of wanted to achieve is making use of that intake pipe that we just had made. It's definitely changed the dose sound completely. So really happy with that. Sounds pretty sick. Puts a smile on his face too, which is worth it. Let's go get some lunch. So I reckon that was a pretty good lunch, and I reckon we've achieved our goal for today as well with the boost. It's all turned out pretty bloody good. We got touching on 10 psi in 2nd gear. I'm going to try 1st gear a little bit later when we got some good road to stretch it out in. I don't want to do anything illegal, obviously. We're doing the speed limit, and we've got a cruise on tonight. I think it is night hours. night hours or something like that down at the Fulham Gardens Shopping Centre. We're going to head down there. My little girl's got a dancing concert today, so we're going to do the dancing concert, and if we've got time, we're going to head down to the cruise. This will probably wrap up the video for this week. Thank you for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. I'm going to close out with some cruise footage, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. If you guys have any comments or tips, somewhere or something good we can do with the boost gauge, let me know. I don't know where to put it at the moment. I do want to have it. I do want to get my hands on like an Apexi gauge or a Grady gauge or something like that. I don't want to keep the Turbosmart, but it is a good starting point and it is a good reference for setting up the boost. Yeah, if you have any tips on where to put it, any other information about what we've done in the video, please comment below. It really does help the video, it makes a massive difference, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers. Luckily we got heaps of silicone hose left over from when we redid. I definitely hit myself in the head.